All right, tonight's Thoughts from 5D is on the art of finding needles in a haystack. This is Thoughts from 5D. Oops. I guess I should. I guess I should probably fix that. But anyhow, the I've been thinking one of my biggest beefs with humans is people who see 20 things in some area and 19 of them look like scams or fakes or whatever, and they dismiss the entire thing. Now, this could be, I have a background in street dance, so this could be seeing 19 street dancers that look like clones and, just disregarding an entire group and overlooking the one that doesn't. This could be 19 NFTs that all look like scams and ignoring the one that is actually pretty awesome and pretty amazing. This could be 19 cryptocurrencies. This could be, 19 tweets, really just anything. And I feel like the tendency that the vast majority of people I come into contact with, including really smart people, to just dismiss things as not being worth their time to even look into. Meaning, if I press them and say, wait, I actually think there's some kind of interesting stuff going on with blah, blah, blah. And they say, no, it's all stupid. It's so stupid. I hate it. And I say, well, have you looked at it? No, I don't know what that is. Well, what about, do you know about this? No, I don't know about that. I mean, would you think of, no, I don't want to waste my time looking. It's like, oh, man. And, I think back to when Elon Musk started Tesla, SpaceX, and so on. And people asked him, like, how likely is it that you succeed? And he's like, I don't know, 5%, 10%. And what that means is either a 1 in 20 or 1 in 10 chance, right? So like venture capital, right? You can have a one, that's the typical, way that venture capital returns work is one investment returns the fund. you know you're not looking for everything to work out. The vast majority of what you do pans out to nothing, and that's just the norm. There's nothing weird or abnormal about that. Like, it would be weird if 99% of cryptocurrencies weren't scams. It would be weird if 99% of NFT collections weren't scams. It would be weird if 99% of dancers weren't terrible. And this habitual tendency to throw babies out with bathwaters, it just reeks of laziness to me and intellectual lack of horsepower, meaning an inability to go through the slog, the proof of work of going down dead end after dead end after dead end in search of, seeing if there's a there. And more importantly, I think the humility to recognize that there may be things that you don't know, and to try to look for steelman arguments at all times, to try to find the best arguments for things that you don't agree with. And if you can't find them, to try to construct them yourself. And I think this is not only like ethically and morally the correct thing to do. I also think it's where the best returns come from. the best investments are always needles in a haystack and diamonds in the rough. And oftentimes that even includes people, right? Or not even just people, locations, things that are overlooked. 99% of things that are overlooked for a reason. 1% of things that are overlooked are just overlooked for no good reason. And there have been so many times in my life where I've showed up in some place and I'm like, whoa, this place is amazing. What the fuck? And then, 5 or 10 years later, it's the hottest place. It's the hottest neighborhood. It's the hottest city. It's the hottest country. And as that experience has repeated itself so many times, I now recognize that, like, the whole idea of one whole idea of investing called random walk theory is basically about the idea that the market is so sophisticated that everything is priced in. Like, there are enough market participants that all events are already priced in, and thus what you should do is you should just invest in index funds because your odds of beating the market are slim to none. And I think that there's a lot of wisdom in that, and it depends on like how deep do you want to go with that. So if I take the perspective of like, where do you want to live? If you find some magazine and it lists like the 20 best places to live, my guess is that the best place to live is not on that list, most likely, or at least potentially. Let me be a little bit more humble. And the downside of all the places on that list is because they're on the list, they become less, the value goes down, right? Because the price goes up. Part of the reason that people like those places is often because, there's a good quality of life, and good quality of life usually involves good value, which means, reasonable pricing. But as things get popular, they become more expensive, and then the value goes down, and then the quality of life goes down because people have more stress to pay the bills, and, et cetera, et cetera. So I just think that I certainly don't think there's anything wrong. I don't mean to disparage any kind of like, index investing or just finding places that are on the top 20 places to live and moving there. I'm sure that most of those places are better than the average place that a human could live. But I do think that there's a tremendous amount of value in wading through a bunch of dead ends and persevering until you find something that really knocks your socks off, to use like a boomer phraseology. And the thing is, like Bezos talked about the fact, so, Amazon launched the Fire phone many years ago. This is like ancient history at this point. And, they were going to like revolutionize phones, right? That was the whole shtick. And everybody was like so excited. And this Fire phone, the Amazon Fire phone, is got to be one of the biggest flops in modern technological history in terms of how much hype it had and how it just died, like totally DOA. And, Bezos took a lot of shit for that. And he said that, I'm paraphrasing, so my numbers might be off. If they launch 100 things, maybe 99 of them fail, including the Fire phone. But two things happen. One is that in the building of the Fire phone, they learn a tremendous amount that affects the next things they develop that they wouldn't have learned had they not built the Fire phone. And even more importantly, the one thing that succeeds out of those 100 experiments pays for the next 100 experiments, right? So the whole mentality is wrong, meaning if you take the cryptocurrency industry, which, is like, dude, it's just a bunch of scams. Like, who are we kidding? It's just a bunch of pump and dumps. Like, is this the lowest quality stuff? But That's like 99.9%. But the 0.1% that is not that absolutely is in the process of completely altering reality as we know it. And you really can't have a better example than that, you know? And if you're unwilling to do the due diligence to find that 0.1%, you know, as the Bitcoiners say, have fun staying poor. Like, sorry for your loss. It's like, that's your problem. And because the value in being willing to do the work, to study, to do the studying, the hundreds of hours of studying, it pays dividends for the rest of your life, you know, and it enables you to spend the next 100 hours studying and the next 100 hours studying. And then, you know, you find a lot of wealthy people who are, as Balaji describes it, post-financial. And many of them, the smart ones, right, the ones that aren't like on yachts and drinking champagne and, you know, with OnlyFans girls, they spend a lot of their time studying and learning, and they don't have to. They don't have to do anything. But that's it's almost like that's the trajectory. You work super hard, and then with the little extra time you have left, you focus on your studies, and then your studies very slowly start paying dividends, and then all of a sudden you have a bit more time to study, and then you have a bit more time to study, and then the next thing you know, you have a lot of time to study, and then and this is where you get the fact of the rich getting richer, because now you have all this time to study, and you've learned all of these lessons, and you understand these kinds of principles, and you're patient and cautious and, you know, willing to slog and do the due diligence on things that are most likely not going to pan out. But if they do, this could be the big one. And like, this to me is just, this is the approach to life that I want to be around. I don't even necessarily evangelize this. I think however you want to live, be my guest, man. I just don't care. But what I do care is about who I want to be around and engage with. And the people that I want to be around and engage with are people with that mentality. So if that is you, it's so funny because I feel like I'm turning into one of these people who like pitches shit. Oh, my content is just like an ad for my group chat. And it's like, that is so not my intention, but it's like, I fuck with it. It's like, okay, I accept it because I'm so passionate about this fucking group chat that it's like, hey, if I'm going to just sound like another grifter, another fucking online grifter who makes his content and then at the end is like, yeah, bro, here comes the sales pitch. It's like, so fucking be it. So if you are such a person, come to my website. I'm not even joking. Like, I'm laughing, but I'm like dead ass serious. And click Otis 12D. And please, like, you know, consider joining. Consider becoming a member. It's not a member. What the hell do I want to call it? A citizen. That's what I want to fucking call it, a citizen. Consider becoming a citizen of Otis 12D. That shit's fucking gangster, bro. Peace.
Otis5D.xyz.
Go fuck yourself.